The night was quiet at the edge of the solar system. On a small outpost orbiting near Saturn, only a handful of humans were awake. The cold silence of space surrounded them, broken only by the low hum of machines and the blinking lights of monitors. Dr. Lena Hayes sat in front of her console, sipping cold coffee, her eyes half open. She had been listening to empty space for months, waiting for something that never came. But tonight was different. A faint beeping started from one of the receivers. At first it was soft, like a heartbeat. The signal came, then stopped, then came again in a slow and steady rhythm. The technician beside her frowned and turned his chair. Probably another cosmic echo, he muttered. But Lena didn't look away. Something about the pattern caught her attention. It wasn't random. It was too clean, too deliberate. She leaned closer, adjusting the signal filter. The sound grew sharper, a sequence of short and long bursts repeating every 47 seconds. Her fingers froze on the controls. Her mind began to translate automatically, trying to see meaning in the chaos. The computer tried to identify the source, but it failed. It wasn't coming from a planet, not from a ship, not even from known deep space frequencies. It came from nowhere. Lena saved the pattern and played it again. Her pulse quickened. "Run a frequency analysis," she ordered. The system obeyed, lines of data rolling across the screen. The technician, now wide awake, said, "Could it be some old probe bouncing back signals?" Lena shook her head. "No, probes don't send perfect cycles. This is communication." The base commander was called to the lab within minutes. He was a quiet man, used to strange alarms and false signals, but when he saw the data, he too felt something was off. The rhythm repeated 5 times, paused, then changed slightly, almost like an answer. By Or hours, the message was sent to Earth for decoding. A team of linguists, mathematicians, and AI programs began working on it from different time zones. The global net buzzed with secret chatter. Governments were notified quietly. No one wanted the public to know. Not yet. On the 5th repetition, the signal changed again. The static around it grew louder, almost as if something massive was moving behind it. The transmission now carried a second layer, a low, rumbling tone that vibrated through the speakers. The lights flickered. Lena looked up in surprise. "Is that interference?" she asked. "No, ma'am," the technician said softly. "That's part of the signal." For the next 3 hours, the station listened. The sound grew stronger, clearer. It was now echoing through multiple frequencies at once. It was as if someone or something was calling from another dimension, forcing its voice into human space. And then, without warning, the signal stopped. Total silence. Every monitor on the station went black for exactly 13 seconds. When the power returned, the computers showed a strange line of text in a language no one recognized. The words shimmered on the display before vanishing. "We see you." Lena felt her stomach twist. "Was that part of the data?" she whispered. The technician tried to trace it, but there was no source, no origin. It was like the system had spoken on its own. Earth Command demanded real-time updates. Some experts said it was a cosmic phenomenon, a black hole pulse or a coded reflection from the sun's magnetic field. But Lena knew it wasn't natural. She could feel it. There was intent behind it. Hours passed. The crew was tired but too afraid to sleep. Then the station's radar picked up something strange. A distortion near Jupiter's orbit. It wasn't light, not heat, not radiation. It was emptiness. A void moving slowly, deliberately, like a shadow sliding across space. Lena stood near the glass window, staring out at the endless darkness. "Could it be a comet?" someone asked. But she didn't answer. She was watching as the shadow grew larger, blocking the faint reflection of Jupiter. The void shimmered. And then, something came through. It wasn't a ship in the usual sense. It had no visible engines, no lights, no structure. It looked like a perfect sphere of black glass swallowing the stars behind it. For a moment, no one breathed. The sensors went wild. Gravity distortions, radiation spikes, magnetic chaos, all at once. "Contact," whispered the commander. "Unknown object. Approaching fast." Earth Command ordered a full lockdown. All transmission lines went encrypted. The world's defense satellites turned toward the unknown, but before they could react, the object stopped. Dead still. Hanging above Jupiter's red storm like a god watching from the sky, The outpost systems flickered again. Lena tried to send a message, but her screen turned to static. Her headset crackled, then a voice came through, soft, metallic, echoing with distortion. Humanity detected. The words were slow, mechanical, but clear. Lena froze. She looked around. Everyone else had heard it too. The voice continued. Signal received. Prepare for assessment. Before she could reply, every system shut down again. The entire outpost fell into darkness. Only the faint red emergency lights remained. The silence was heavy, the kind that feels alive. When power returned, the monitors displayed a new countdown, numbers ticking down from 3,600 seconds. 1 hour. The commander's voice was tight. What's it counting to? Lena whispered, maybe. Their arrival. The crew gathered around the viewing glass once more. The black sphere began to change. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, and patterns of light ran across it. Blue, gold, silver, like a language being written in real time. Back on Earth, command centers received the same countdown. Every space telescope was pointed at Jupiter. News channels were told to stay silent. The world didn't know that the first contact humanity had been dreaming of for centuries was already happening. And it wasn't peaceful. At T-minus 600 seconds, the sphere pulsed once. Every electronic device within millions of kilometers flickered. The countdown reached 0, then the message returned. But this time it wasn't just sound. It was visual, a symbol projected across every communication screen on Earth. A single circle divided by a sharp line through the center. Beneath it, a translation appeared, a language the machine somehow recognized and displayed automatically. It said, "Prepare for evaluation." "Do not resist." Lena's hands trembled as she watched. "Evaluation?" she whispered. The commander turned toward her. "They think we're an experiment." And far beyond the cold orbit of Saturn, deep in the endless dark, the black sphere pulsed again, slow, deliberate, and aware. The signal that had once been humanity's greatest mystery now carried a promise, or a threat. It wasn't just a message. It was a countdown, and humanity had just reached 0. The black sphere above Jupiter did not move. It just stayed there silent, watching. The world waited, confused and afraid. For the first time in history, every human government agreed on one thing. This was not human technology. On Earth, panic started to grow. News eventually leaked. People saw strange flashes near Jupiter through telescopes and phones. Social media exploded with theories. Aliens, gods, time travelers. But the truth was far darker than anyone imagined. At United Earth Command in Geneva, military officers and scientists argued inside a cold steel room. Screens showed the dark sphere, zoomed in by orbital cameras. It looked like a black mirror reflecting nothing. "We tried radio, laser communication, even nuclear signals," said General Rowan, his voice tense. No response. "The object is ignoring all attempts." Dr. Lena Hayes stood at the edge of the room, still pale from sleepless nights. She spoke softly. "It's not ignoring us. It's listening." The general turned to her. "Listening for what?" Lena hesitated. "Patterns, weakness, they called it an assessment. That means they're studying us, maybe judging." Outside the glass walls, hundreds of analysts tried to decode the strange pulses still coming from the sphere. Every few hours, the object released bursts of energy, invisible to human eyes but powerful enough to make Earth's magnetosphere tremble. Then something impossible happened. A second signal appeared, this time coming from Earth, not from any human source. From deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. "Cross-check it," the technician shouted. "It's the same frequency, the same pattern as the alien signal." Everyone froze. The alien sphere wasn't just watching, it was talking to something already here. The room fell silent. Lena stared at the data on her screen. "They're not alone," she whispered. Back near Jupiter, the sphere started to change shape. From the dark surface, lines of light appeared, forming geometric symbols. Within minutes, the sphere unfolded like a flower made of glass. Inside it was a structure, massive and alive, glowing blue like liquid fire. "God," someone said under their breath. "It's opening." Satellites captured the event live. Energy spikes shattered sensors. The structure now looked like a colossal ring thousands of kilometers wide. A beam of light shot toward Earth, so bright it burned through every satellite camera. Then for the first time, they spoke again. Every radio, every speaker, every phone, even those not connected, and began to buzz. The same metallic voice echoed across the planet. Humanity, remain still. You are under observation. The message repeated in every language, every tone, every screen. Panic spread faster than the light itself. People screamed, ran into the streets, praying or shouting at the sky. Planes landed, ships stopped moving, cities lost power. Within an hour, the world had gone silent, except for the voice. In space, defense satellites moved into position. Nations forgot their borders. For the first time, every weapon on Earth pointed at the same enemy, but no one fired. Not yet. Lena was transferred to Project Titan, a secret base hidden on the far side of the moon. Only a few knew about it. There, humanity had been building something, not for war but for survival. A single experimental ship, equipped with the latest defense systems designed for deep space missions. Titan was humanity's last hope if contact went wrong. When Lena arrived, the hangar was alive with movement. Engineers shouted, soldiers ran, screens blinked. Commander Ryan, a tall man with a calm face, greeted her. Dr. Hayes, he said, shaking her hand. I read your report. You think this is an invasion? She looked up at the large holographic projection of the alien ring near Jupiter. No, she said quietly. It's worse. It's a test, and we're failing it, Ryan nodded slowly. Then we'll change the outcome. The plan was simple and dangerous. Titan would approach the alien ring and try to gather data from its surface before it reached Earth's orbit. But the problem was timing. The object was moving, not toward Earth yet, but toward Mars. Something about its path made no sense. It wasn't random. It looked like it was scanning the planets, one by one. Back on Earth, strange things began to happen. Satellites lost control. Weather patterns changed. Entire regions went dark. The alien energy pulses were affecting the atmosphere, bending radio waves, altering magnetic fields, and then all at once, the sky lit up. A smaller ship and a fragment of the main sphere entered Earth's orbit. It was massive, sleek, and completely silent. Every telescope caught it. It hovered above the Pacific Ocean where the second signal had come from. Lena watched from the Titan base feed. That's where they're coming, she said. Within minutes, a message was broadcast across all frequencies again, this time clearer, stronger, and filled with authority. Human civilization, prepare for evaluation. Submit representatives. Resistance will result in removal. The world leaders had no choice. They sent a small team, diplomats, scientists, and soldiers, on a UN-controlled shuttle. Their mission was simple: make contact. Talk if possible. Lena wasn't chosen for the first contact, but she watched it live from the moon base. The shuttle entered the alien vessel's atmosphere, a sea of glowing mist. Cameras showed metallic walls with strange symbols pulsing like veins. The crew reported gravity, breathable air, and faint mechanical sound numbered like whispers through metal. Then the transmission broke. For a few moments there was only static. When the feed returned, the crew stood inside a vast chamber filled with light. A single tall figure appeared in front of them. Silver skin, eyes like black mirrors, no mouth, no emotion. The alien spoke directly into their minds. You have reached the limit of your species. You will be measured. The diplomat, trembling, replied, We come in peace. The alien tilted its head. Peace is irrelevant. Then the cameras cut again. A single flash of white light filled the screen, and the transmission was lost forever. At the same moment, power grids on Earth collapsed. Massive EMP waves spread across continents. The sky turned red for 7 minutes. In the silence that followed, Titan Base received one final transmission from the alien ship. It wasn't sound, it was coordinates. They pointed deep beneath Antarctica. Lena stared at the numbers. Why Antarctica? She whispered. Rian looked at her, frowning. Maybe that's where their test began. She shook her head slowly. No, I think that's where our secret ends. As they watched from the moon, the alien ship began descending toward Earth. Its shadow covered the Pacific Ocean like a storm. Humanity stood helpless, staring up at the first visitors from the stars. Visitors who didn't come to greet them, but to judge them. And somewhere deep inside the frozen continent of Antarctica, something ancient started to wake. It had been asleep for millions of years, waiting for this day. The day humanity would be tested. The day first contact went wrong. The world held its breath. The alien ship hovered above the Pacific Ocean, covering the sky like a black storm cloud made of metal. The sun disappeared under its shadow. Birds fell silent. Oceans trembled. Every radar on Earth locked onto the object, but none could read it. It was as if the ship didn't exist in normal space. From orbit, the moon base watched in silence. Commander Ryan stood beside Dr. Lena Hayes, both staring at the live feed on the holographic screen. The alien ship was massive, big enough to hide an entire city inside. Its surface shimmered, alive with strange energy lines that pulsed like veins under skin. "They've landed," Lena whispered. "No," Ryan said quietly. "They've arrived." The world's leaders tried to respond with reason. Communication teams sent hundreds of signals, greetings, peace messages, even recordings of human languages. The aliens didn't reply. Instead, their ship sent one last message, not in words, but in light. Across the sky from Tokyo to Los Angeles, a single glowing symbol appeared. A circle divided by a line. It burned for 10 seconds, then vanished. The translation appeared on global systems instantly. Submission begins. Within minutes, every satellite went offline. Power plants failed. The digital world went dark. Humanity, the most connected species in history, was suddenly blind. Governments panicked. Armies prepared for war, but no one knew where to aim. Then the ocean itself began to rise. From the heart of the Pacific, a column of blue light shot upward, piercing the clouds. The alien ship rotated slowly above it, and thousands of small drones, bright, silver, and silent, began to pour out like a swarm of glowing insects. They spread across the sky, scanning everything, recording everything. At the United Earth Command bunker, General Rowan slammed his hand on the table. "They're mapping the planet," he shouted. "Every city, every power source, they're taking inventory." Ryan's voice echoed through the comm from the moon base. "General, we have one ship, Titan. Give us permission to approach the alien vessel." Rowan hesitated. "That's suicide." "Maybe," Ryan replied, "but it's better than waiting to be erased." Permission was granted. Project Titan activated. The massive human warship detached from its lunar cradle, glowing blue from its fusion drives. Its hull was made from experimental nanometal, humanity's most advanced creation. Inside, only 50 crew members stood ready. Among them was Dr. Lena Hayes. Titan turned its nose toward Earth. "Target locked," said the pilot. "Approaching alien vessel at sublight. Speed." The alien drones didn't react. They simply let the human ship pass through their formation as if watching an ant walk into a storm. When Titan entered the atmosphere, the world below was chaos. Cities were dark, communication dead, oceans wild. Yet billions of humans looked up that night, and for the first time, they saw their ship glowing bright against the alien shadow. For one moment, humanity had hope. Inside the alien ship, things were different. The environment was not mechanical. It was alive. The walls pulsed with a faint heartbeat-like rhythm. The few surviving feeds from the earlier UN contact team showed images of shifting metal, floating symbols, and creatures walking through mist, tall, silver-skinned beings with eyes like mirrors and hands that never touched the ground. Titan reached visual range. On the main screen, the alien vessel filled the entire sky, a black mountain of light and darkness. "Open a channel," Ryan ordered. Static. Then a deep, echoing voice responded. The same metallic tone that had haunted every broadcast since Jupiter. "Human vessel identified. You approach without authorization." Ryan stood tall. "This is Commander Ryan of the human ship Titan. We request peaceful dialogue." There was silence. Then the voice replied, "Peace is the illusion of the weak. You are subjects, not equals." The bridge crew looked at one another. Ryan's face hardened. "Then we'll show you what equals can do." Before the alien could respond, Titan fired a pulse beacon. Not a weapon, but a coded scan designed to collect surface data. It struck the alien hull, sending ripples of light across its structure. Instantly, hundreds of alien drones swarmed toward Titan. "Defensive grid online," shouted the pilot. Shields flared as the first wave of energy blast hit. The sound of impact thundered through the ship. "Return fire. Non-lethal mode." Blue arcs of plasma shot outward, striking several drones. For a second, the sky exploded in light, but the drones kept coming. Lena gripped her console. Commander, the ship's sensors are being flooded. They're trying to read our systems and they're hacking us. Lock them out, Ryan said sharply. I'm trying, but their code isn't digital, it's biological. The alien voice returned, louder now, echoing through the comms and even through their helmets. You have been judged. You're dangerous. Ryan's jaw tightened. You came to our world uninvited. You threaten our people. And you call us dangerous? The alien voice was cold. Yes, the alien ship released a blinding pulse. For a moment, Titan's entire system went white. Screens died. Lights flickered. The crew screamed as the ship began to fall. Engines offline! Shield integrity down. The Titan spun violently, tumbling toward the ocean below. Stabilize, Ryan shouted. Lena fought to restore power. Her hands flew over the controls. Come on, come on. Then something strange happened. Her screen flickered and a symbol appeared. The same circle with a line mark the aliens had used. But now it glowed gold instead of blue. Lena froze. Sir, she whispered, this isn't from them. It's from Earth. From Earth? Yes, from under Antarctica. It's sending a signal back to us. The ship's AI translated it instantly. The words were simple. Awaken the core. Titan's power surged. Systems rebooted. The ship stopped falling, hovering above the clouds again. The alien drones hesitated when for the first time. Uncertain. Commander? Lena said breathlessly. Whatever's under Antarctica. It just saved us. Ryan looked toward the dark alien vessel. Then maybe that's what they're afraid of. The alien voice returned, louder and more distorted. Cease interference. You do not understand what you awaken, Ryan smirked. We understand enough. He turned to his crew. Set course for Antarctica. Sir, the alien vessel. Let them follow, he said. Let them see what humanity really hides. The Titan's engines roared, cutting through the clouds like lightning. Behind them, the alien ship turned slowly, chasing them across the sky. Billions of humans on the ground looked up that night, watching two giants move through the heavens, one human, one alien, streaking toward the frozen south, and deep below the ice of Antarctica, something old began to glow, a heartbeat, a pulse, a power that had been silent for ages. The first contact was no longer just about peace or war. It was about survival. And humanity was finally ready to fight back. The wind screamed. Across the frozen continent of Antarctica, endless white ice stretched in every direction, sharp and silent under a dark sky. There was no sign of life, and no birds, no sound, only the whisper of snow moving across ancient ground. But beneath that silence, something was alive. Far above the clouds, the human ship Titan entered the atmosphere, burning through the cold sky like a falling star. Commander Ryan stood at the front of the bridge, his eyes fixed on the glowing coordinates marked on the screen. Behind him, Dr. Lena Hayes worked without rest, tracing the strange golden signal that had saved their ship. It's coming from deep under the ice, Lena said, almost 5 kilometers below the surface. Energy levels are impossible, Ryan frowned. Impossible how? Lena took a deep breath. Sir, it's not nuclear, not thermal, not magnetic. It's something else, something alive. The ship's sensors beeped. We have company, the pilot said. On the horizon, the alien vessel appeared again, breaking through the atmosphere like a storm of black lightning. Its edges shimmered, twisting reality itself. It didn't move fast, it didn't have to. The air bent around it as if the laws of physics bowed in respect. They're following us, Ryan said. Good, let them see. The Titan descended toward a hidden valley between sharp ice cliffs. There, half buried under snow, stood the ruins of an ancient structure, circular, massive, and carved with symbols that looked eerily similar to the ones on the alien ship. Lena stared at the screen. That can't be human, can it? Ryan replied quietly. Maybe it was, once. The ship landed. The engines went silent. The wind outside howled like a warning. Soldiers and scientists stepped out in heavy suits, their boots crunching on the frozen ground. They approached the structure slowly. The ice on its surface was smooth as glass, and under it, golden light pulsed faintly, like a sleeping heart. One of the soldiers brushed away snow from the symbols. It's not alien metal, he said. Feels like stone, but warm. Lena placed her gloved hand on the surface. It's responding to us. As if hearing her, the light grew stronger. The ice cracked with a loud boom and a deep vibration shook the ground. The soldiers stepped back, weapons ready. Ryan shouted, "Everyone clear the area!" But before they could move, the ground opened beneath their feet. The snow collapsed and the team fell through into a massive underground chamber filled with golden mist and floating light. They landed hard, but alive. When they looked up, they saw it. A giant machine buried in the ice, shaped like a sphere surrounded by floating rings. Ancient, enormous, and humming softly with energy. Lena whispered, "The resonance core." Ryan turned to her. "What did you say?" She looked almost afraid. "When I was decoding the alien signal, I found fragments of old data, references to something called the resonance field. It was mentioned in myths, stories about an ancient war long before human history. I thought it was nonsense, but this is real." Ryan stared at the machine. "Are you saying humans have built this before?" "No," she said softly. "I think we found it before." The golden light from the machine pulsed faster, matching their heartbeats. The chamber filled with a deep echoing hum. Their suits' sensors went wild. Up above, the alien ship arrived. It hovered directly over the valley, its shadow covering the entrance to the ruins. A beam of dark energy shot down from the sky, tearing through the snow and ice, striking the ancient structure. The ground trembled violently. Inside, the humans were thrown to the floor. "They're trying to destroy it," a soldier yelled. "Not destroy," Lena said, gripping the floor. "They're trying to stop it from waking up." Ryan turned to her. "Can you activate it?" She hesitated. "If I do, I don't know what will happen." "Neither do they," Ryan said. "Do it." Lena ran to the central console, brushing off frost and dust. Strange symbols lit up under her hands, reacting to her touch. She placed her palm in the center, and the machine came alive. Golden light filled the chamber. The rings around the sphere began to rotate slowly, then faster, spinning until they formed a glowing halo. Energy surged through the air, lifting small rocks and debris. Outside, the alien ship stopped firing. For the first time, it backed away, almost like it was afraid. The commander's communicator crackled. The alien voice returned, filled with static and rage. "Humanity, you do not understand. That power is not yours. Shut it down." Ryan smiled grimly. "You've been judging us since you arrived. Maybe it's time we judge you." The resonance core's light grew brighter, piercing the ice above. The alien ship fired again, but this time the beam bounced off harmlessly. The energy from the core expanded outward, creating a golden dome that covered the entire valley. Inside the dome, the air was warm. The soldiers looked around in awe. The walls of the ruins started to shift, revealing carvings. Human shapes thousands of years old, holding the same glowing energy in their hands. Lena's voice trembled. "This isn't alien. It's human." "It's us." "We were here before. An older civilization?" Ryan asked. "Maybe the first humans and the ones who fought them before." Outside, the alien ship began to crack. Its surface twisted and split, leaking streams of black energy. The aliens screamed through the comms, "You've doomed yourselves. That energy will consume you." But Lena stood firm. "No," she said, "it will save us." The resonance core reached full power. A wave of golden light burst from the valley, racing across the ice, across the oceans, and into the sky. Everywhere it touched, the world changed. Power grids came back online. Machines restarted. People who had fallen unconscious woke up, gasping for air. The wave reached the alien ship and struck it with a sound like thunder. The black hull began to melt into light, dissolving into nothing. Then, just as quickly as it had begun, the storm stopped. The air grew quiet. The light faded. The valley stood still once more. Lena fell to her knees, exhausted. "It's awake," she whispered. "It's been waiting for us all this time." Ryan looked at the glowing core, its rings now spinning slowly again, steady and calm. "Whatever this power is," he said, "it's ours now." Lena nodded weakly. "No, Commander. It was always ours. We just forgot how to use it." Above them, the last fragments of the alien ship broke apart, vanishing into the upper atmosphere like dust. And in the silence that followed, deep within the core, a new sound began, a steady heartbeat. A voice, soft and ancient, echoed in Lena's mind. "Welcome back. Humanity." The sky burned. Every screen on Earth showed the same image. The alien armada had arrived. Dozens of colossal ships now filled the upper atmosphere, black and silent like floating tombs. They had come for revenge. The destruction of their first vessel had awakened something ancient in them, fury. From the moon, Commander Ryan and Dr. Lena Hayes watched as the alien ships moved into formation. "They're not here to study us anymore," Ryan said quietly. "They're here to end us," Lena nodded slowly. "They think the resonance core makes us dangerous." He turned to her. "They're right." The Titan floated above the white plains of Antarctica, surrounded by the golden glow of the active resonance field. The giant structure beneath the ice pulsed like a heartbeat, and faint energy waves rippled across the sky. It was power, pure and alive, and it now belonged to humanity. But no one knew how long it would last. "Alien ships entering Earth orbit," said the pilot. 37 vessels, all heavily armed. "Defensive grid online," Ryan ordered. "Let's see how they like fighting humans on our home turf." All over the planet, human forces prepared for the impossible. Fighter jets launched from hidden bases, missiles were armed, and old space weapons were brought back to life. But everyone knew. None of it could match alien technology. The real weapon was something else. Lena worked on the console, linking Titan systems directly to the resonance core below. "If I can synchronize the core's energy with Titan's network," she said, "we can extend its field across the planet." "Like a shield?" Ryan asked. She shook her head. "No, like a heartbeat. It won't protect us, it will connect us." Before he could ask what she meant, the sky turned white. The first alien ship fired. A massive beam of energy tore through the clouds, striking the Earth near the Atlantic. The ocean boiled. Shock waves spread across continents. But something strange happened. The golden energy from Antarctica spread faster, pulsing through the ground, the air, even the atmosphere itself. The alien beam broke apart mid-air, scattering like dust. All over the world, humans felt it. A vibration deep in their bones, like the planet itself was awake. Ryan looked at Lena. "What's happening?" "The core is responding," she said. "It's linking every human mind together, like a network." "I can feel them," Ryan frowned. "Feel who?" "Everyone." She wasn't exaggerating. Across the world, people began to hear whispers in their thoughts. Voices of others, faint and warm. Fear turned into focus. Soldiers on battlefields felt no panic. Pilots flying through chaos felt calm. Doctors, engineers, even children, all suddenly shared the same rhythm, the same heartbeat. Humanity was no longer billions of individuals. It was one united mind. The alien ships fired again, but this time Earth fought back. Missiles launched from underground silos, streaking through the air like fireflies. Fighter jets moved in perfect formation, faster and sharper than ever before. They didn't need orders. They knew what to do, instinctively, collectively. From the sky it looked like chaos, but to them it felt like music. Ryan's voice echoed through Titan's calm. "This is our world. We stand together." The alien fleet began to deploy drones, thousands of them, each one armed with plasma cannons. They descended through the clouds, glowing like falling stars. "Drones incoming," shouted the pilot. "Target them," Ryan commanded. "All batteries, open fire." Titan's cannons lit up the sky. Golden plasma bolts ripped through the air, destroying dozens of drones. But there were too many. The swarm covered the atmosphere like a black storm. Lena's console flashed red. "They're trying to overload the resonance field." "Can they?" "If they do, it could destroy the core. And the planet." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we end this now." He looked at her. "You said the resonance connects all of us. Can it do more?" She hesitated. "Maybe. If we amplify it through Titan's reactor, it could project human will, pure thought, as energy." Ryan smirked. "So we fight them with our minds?" "With everything we are," Lena said. He nodded. "Do it." She closed her eyes, hands shaking over the controls. The ship's lights dimmed. Power flowed into the core connection. The golden energy grew brighter, spreading across Titan's hull, wrapping it in a shimmering aura. Then the impossible happened. The alien drones froze mid-air. Their systems glitched. Some turned against their own fleet. The massive ships began to lose coordination. The resonance field wasn't just energy anymore. It was human consciousness, amplified and unleashed. On the ground, soldiers fought like never before. Wounded men stood back up. Fear vanished. Every heartbeat on Earth synchronized with the rhythm from Antarctica. And in orbit, the alien commander watched in disbelief. Their minds are connected, he hissed to his crew. They are becoming something new. The alien fleet opened fire in desperation. Beams of dark light crashed against Titan's shield, shaking it violently. Sparks filled the bridge. Shields down to 40%, shouted the pilot. Ryan steadied himself. Hold it together! Then, through the storm of energy, Lena's eyes opened. Glowing gold. Her voice changed, deeper, layered, like hundreds of voices speaking as one. They don't understand, she said softly. Humanity isn't just flesh. We are memory. We are will. We survive. Her hands pressed down on the control panel. The golden field pulsed once more, stronger than ever. In a single flash of light, the energy spread across the entire sky, striking every alien ship at once. The air exploded with thunder. The alien vessels began to melt, their black metal turning to dust under the brilliance of the resonance. One by one, the ships fell, crashing into the oceans, mountains, and deserts. The swarm dissolved. The world shook with light and sound. When it was over, silence returned. The clouds parted, Earth was safe. The Titan floated above the world, glowing faintly. The crew looked around in disbelief. We did it, one whispered. Ryan exhaled slowly. No, he said, we did it. Lena smiled weakly, her eyes fading back to normal. They underestimated us. Ryan looked out the window at the burning horizon. They always do. But far above, beyond the dying alien ships, a final transmission echoed through space, a message sent to somewhere deeper, older, darker. A voice trembling and fearful said, "The humans have awakened the core. The cycle begins again." In the cold silence of space, thousands of light years away, something ancient stirred. A new shadow began to move. And on Earth, under the ice of Antarctica, the resonance core pulsed softly, alive, waiting for what came next. The battle for Earth was over. But the war for humanity's future had just begun. The world was quiet. Smoke rose from the oceans where alien ships had fallen. The sky was stained with the remains of battle, burning trails and drifting ashes. From orbit, Earth looked both broken and beautiful. Inside the Titan, silence filled the command deck. The crew just stared at the screens showing the aftermath. Half the alien armada was gone. The rest had fled into deep space, wounded and terrified. Commander Ryan stood near the window, his reflection shimmering against the stars. "It's over," whispered the pilot. "No," Ryan said slowly. "Not yet. They'll be back. They always come back." Lena Hayes sat beside the resonance console, eyes half closed, breathing slowly. The golden light from the core still pulsed through her veins. She could feel something. Far beyond the ship, beyond even Earth. "They're afraid of us now," she said softly. "But they're not the only ones watching." Ryan frowned. "What do you mean?" She didn't answer right away. Her mind drifted through the connection, the invisible web linking every human mind. For the first time in history, humanity was united. No borders, no divisions. Every heartbeat moved together in rhythm. Lena could feel them. Soldiers tending to the wounded, mothers crying with relief, children looking at the stars with new hope. Every human emotion echoed in her head like distant music. She smiled faintly. "We're not just one species anymore," she said. "We've become something more." Down on Earth, people began to notice strange changes. In a city once burning, firemen lifted steel beams like they were weightless. Medics could sense heartbeats before touching their patients. Soldiers moved in perfect synchronization, anticipating each other's actions without a single word. It was as if the resonance had unlocked something sleeping inside the human race. Power that was never meant to be forgotten. The frozen depths of Antarctica. The resonance core kept pulsing. Its rhythm matched the beat of every human heart. Each pulse sent waves of energy across the planet, invisible but powerful. Plants grew faster, the air grew cleaner, and even the ocean seemed to glow faintly at night. But deep beneath the surface, something else was waking up. Lena's console beeped. "Commander," she said quickly, "I'm detecting new signals under the ice." Ryan moved beside her. "Aliens again?" She shook her head. "No, this is human, or at least it was once." On the screen, strange symbols appeared, identical to the ones the aliens feared. It was a language older than any known civilization. The message was clear. The Guardians will rise. Ryan clenched his fists. What does that mean? Before she could answer, the ship shuddered. The resonance core flared with golden fire. Waves of energy shot upward, spreading through the sky like lightning. All across Earth, humans felt it again. Stronger than before. Minds expanded. Thoughts connected. Fear vanished. Every person saw the same vision. The Earth glowing like a star, wrapped in light, defended by invisible strength. It wasn't destruction. It was awakening. Rian fell to his knees, gripping his head. Lena, what's happening? She could barely speak. The core is merging with us. It's rewriting what we are. On the main screen, the alien fleet that had fled was now turning back. Distant dots in space moving toward Earth again. But this time something had changed. They weren't alone. Other signals appeared behind them. Smaller, faster ships from unknown origins. The war wasn't just with one race anymore. The universe had taken notice. In the Titan's bridge, the lights flickered. Lena opened her eyes again. This time they weren't just golden. They were glowing white, filled with stars. I can hear them, she said quietly. Hear who? Ryan asked. The other minds. The old ones. The first humans, Ryan stepped back. You mean? Yes, she whispered. The ancient civilization. The one that defeated the aliens long ago. They never died. Their essence stayed inside the resonance, waiting for us to remember. Outside, lightning danced across the sky. The ocean surged, glowing faintly gold. From every continent, humans lifted their heads at once, sensing something beyond comprehension. A voice, deep, calm, ancient, echoed through every human mind. Children of Earth, you have found what we once lost. Do not fear what comes next. You are the continuation of us. Lena trembled, tears in her eyes. They're guiding us. Ryan stared at the screens, showing the alien fleet drawing closer again. Then let's show them what humanity truly is. He activated Titan's final defense system, not a weapon but a beacon. The ship rose higher, directly above Antarctica, where the resonance shone brightest. Linking global minds, Lena said, synchronizing consciousness. Across the world, people felt a pull, a connection deeper than thought. Humanity became one vast network of awareness. Every dream, every fear, every hope blended into one brilliant force. The core answered. A wave of light expanded from Antarctica, brighter than the sun but soft as dawn. It spread across the atmosphere, beyond the moon, reaching space. The alien ships stopped moving. Their weapons powered down automatically. The aliens panicked. Their energy. It's rewriting space itself, one shouted, but it was too late. The golden light touched them. And instead of destruction, they felt something they'd never experienced before: emotion, fear, love, curiosity, regret. They dropped their weapons, overwhelmed. Their ships drifted silently, powerless. Back on Earth, Ryan and Lena stood side by side. It's over, she whispered. Ryan shook his head. No. It's peace. Finally. For the first time in known history, every intelligent being, human and alien, shared a single moment of understanding. The resonance field had done the impossible. It didn't destroy enemies. It changed them. Lena looked out the window at the glowing Earth. This is our true power, Rian. Not our machines. Not our armies, he smiled softly. Our humanity. Silence filled the bridge again, but this time it wasn't empty. It was alive, warm and infinite. Then a faint echo came through the comms. A message from the alien fleet. The same voice that once demanded surrender now spoke with awe. We came to conquer. We leave as witnesses. Humanity is no longer what it was. The message faded into the stars. Rian took a deep breath, the light reflecting in his eyes. So what now? Lena turned to him, a small smile on her lips. Now, we learn who we truly are. The Titan hovered above the Earth, glowing with golden light. The planet below shimmered, alive and awake. Somewhere deep in space, the message of humanity's awakening traveled faster than light. A new signal, a new beginning. The age of fear was over. The age of humanity had just begun. The stars were quiet again. Weeks had passed since the great battle. Since the day the resonance field had awakened and humanity had changed forever. The alien armada was gone, drifting into the far edges of space, their message of surrender echoing through every frequency. But Earth was different now. From orbit, it looked peaceful. No smoke, no burning skies, only a golden glow that pulsed faintly from the poles as if the planet had a living heartbeat. The resonance core beneath Antarctica still thrummed gently, no longer a weapon but a guardian. The Titan floated above the southern hemisphere, its hull scarred but strong. Inside, Commander Rian stood before the observation window, watching the sunrise curve along the horizon. For the first time in his life, he didn't feel small. He felt connected. Lena Hayes walked into the bridge, her steps soft against the metal floor. She looked tired but calm. Her eyes, still carrying traces of that golden light, reflected the dawn outside. "Any word from the council?" Ryan asked. She nodded. "They're rebuilding communication systems. The old governments are gone, but people are working together now. No borders, no flags, just one world," he smiled. "That's a first." "Yeah," she said. "But it feels right." Silence filled the bridge for a moment, not the silence of fear, but peace. The crew around them worked quietly, their movement steady and sure. Everyone seemed lighter, as if the weight of centuries had lifted from their shoulders. Outside, a flock of silver drones hovered near the ship, human-built, yet powered by the same golden energy as the resonance. They weren't machines anymore. They were extensions of human thought. Rian turned to Lena. "Do you ever think about what we've become?" "All the time," she said. "We used to look at the stars and wonder if we were alone. Now we know the truth. We were never alone, but we were asleep." He raised an eyebrow. "And now?" "Now," she said softly, "we're awake." Down on Earth, people could feel it too. Children could sense storms before they formed. Farmers could feel the pulse of the soil. Healers could calm pain with a touch. Every person in some small way carried a spark of the resonance inside them. It was the next step in human evolution. Not forced, not artificial, but natural. The world had changed, but not everyone understood what came next. "Commander," said the comms officer, "we're receiving a transmission from deep space." Ryan and Lena exchanged a look. "Play it," he said. The speakers crackled with static. Then a soft, broken voice spoke, in the alien tongue they had once feared. But this time there was no threat in it, only awe to the humans of Earth. "You have done the impossible. You turned war into peace. You changed death into life. We came to conquer, and you taught us meaning. We will never return as enemies. We will carry your message to the stars." The transmission ended with a strange sound. Not static, not music, but a heartbeat. Ryan exhaled slowly. "They finally understand." Lena smiled faintly. "Maybe for the first time in history. Everyone does." The room fell silent again, but the silence wasn't empty. It was full of promise. Lena walked to the control panel and tapped a few keys. "I'm preparing a message," she said. "Something to send back into the void." Ryan watched her. "What will you say?" She looked up, her voice soft but clear. "The truth." The comm system hummed to life. The ship's beacons lit up. And then, across every frequency known to man, and a few unknown, her message began to travel into the deep darkness of space. "This is Dr. Lena Hayes of Earth. To whoever is listening, we survived. We remember, we forgive, and we are ready." Her voice echoed through the stars, carried by the resonance itself. "We are not the first to rise. We will not be the last, but we are no longer afraid." The message continued to pulse outward, brighter and farther than any radio signal ever had. It passed Mars, Jupiter, Neptune, beyond the edge of the solar system, into the endless sea of stars. And somewhere, far beyond human reach, something heard it. In the blackness of space, an ancient machine stirred, its metal covered in dust older than Earth itself. Red lights blinked for the first time in millennia. A long-forgotten empire awakened. Deep inside its core, a voice spoke, cold and ancient. "The humans have awakened the resonance. The chain begins again." The machine turned toward the distant glow of Earth, calculating, remembering. Then it vanished into the void. Back on the Titan, the stars looked peaceful. No one yet knew what was coming. But for now there was hope, and hope was enough. Lena joined Rian at the window. Below them, the Earth shimmered in gold, alive and reborn. "It's strange," she said softly. "We fought so hard to survive. Now we just Exist together, Ryan smiled. Maybe that's the point. Maybe survival wasn't the goal. Maybe it was understanding. They stood in silence, watching the world they had saved. The sun rose again, casting golden light across the clouds, oceans, and mountains. The human race, once divided, once fragile, now stood united and strong. A new age had begun. No kings, no nations, just humanity, glowing with the power of what it had always been meant to be. In the soft hum of the ship, Lena closed her eyes and whispered one last thought. If they ever come again. Ryan looked at her. Then what? She opened her eyes and smiled. They'll find out what being human really means. The Titan turned slowly toward the stars, engines glowing with golden light, and somewhere in the endless darkness, a faint echo of their message continued to travel. A whisper, a promise, a warning. We are humanity. We remember. We endure. We rise. The universe would never be the same again.